Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 17.
Happy New Year. I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Welcome to 2025. We've got a busy week to kick off North Bay's centennial year.
Well, that's true. So the patches on the jersey. We've got a store front that we're selling online, the centennial merchandise out of the store too. So I guess I should plug that with our...
Your ad's not coming up
yet.
Oh,
sorry, it's too early. I'm just on a live read today. First up, we've got the NDA is cooking with gas this week. Girls are playing volleyball in league and tournament play. The boys are doing the same in basketball, including the Great Northern Shootout with the finals on Saturday. And we have local high school curlers going to the nationals after making it to the provincial finals.
There's even some video evidence of Algonquin seniors out hooping the Ravens in the senior boys basketball game. I was at it Tuesday night. That was a great seesaw affair. It looked like it was going to be a blowout by the Barons, and then Chippewa stormed back, and then Algonquin got its shit together. That's followed by interviews with the winning Barons coach and their top offensive producer, chipping in almost half the points himself.
In Junior Boys Basketball Report, we interviewed the Ravens coach and their captain after defeating the host Barons on their home court.
We also have high school hockey action with video highlights of goals and injuries from Sunday morning's clash in Memorial Gardens, and I highly recommend it, going to Memorial Gardens at 9 a.m. That'll wake you up. Our spotlight interview is with the Lakers men's hockey coach, Mike McParland, who is a local junior star who went on to a professional career playing in Europe, and he had so many good stories. He came home to be the bench boss at the reins of the Nipissing Lakers more than a decade ago, and sometimes at the beginning of the season, I wonder if he thinks that was a good choice.
And as for the Lady Lakers, we caught their overtime loss against the visiting Ontario Tech squad and have some great video from the matchup.
Yeah, if I was asked, I would say that they had a little bit of the turkey-lurkey happening in their first game back. That was not the Lakers team that I know. In keeping with the hockey theme, our heritage moment is actually a picture of the 1965 Police Playground Bantam champions of the local area.
Plus much more. But first, a word from our title sponsor, Source for Sports.
Sports aren't just what we do, they're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
In NDA girls volleyball action, we have some senior results from the 7th of January. Algonquin beat Northern 3-0. The scores for those games were 25-18, 25-13, and 25-10. Looks like the Scholar Bears girls senior team is doing very well on the volleyball court as well. They sent in results where they beat Algonquin 3-0. Those scores were 25-14, 25-7, and 25-20. And that was for the game on the 8th. We also have results from Scholar beating Franco Cite 3-0. They're on a roll. 25-9, 25-11, 25-21. We'll get the results from the Scarlet and Gold tournament at Chippewa that's going on this week. We'll have those results in our Sportscast next week. I had a pretty decent interview with the coach of the Algonquin Barons senior team after they came back from a seesaw affair against Chippewa, Pat Lalonde. And so, Pat, my first question, as you'll see, was, okay, what was the secret that at halftime? And then he said, well, it's a secret. So let's listen to Pat tell us what it's like to be coaching this year, the depth of the NDA League, and they're actually have a tournament this weekend, Friday and Saturday. It's the Northern Ontario Shootout. Pat, that was a pretty good seesaw affair. You guys came out storming, but then they came back, and then you were able to get them back in control. What did you guys do at halftime to get back into it?
I'm not going to tell you that because we're going to keep that for the playoffs and maybe a secret for later, but made a couple of adjustments on their personnel that we tried to figure out maybe we'd match up somewhat, and some of those worked, some better than others, and we were better at making our own decisions and not making so many turnovers in the second half than we did in the first half.
Then number 13, I'm not sure his name, but he looked like he was on fire for shooting.
Number 13 is Owen Hamilton. He was all right tonight. He's a pretty consistent shooter and scorer for us. He can score many ways. He goes to the basket hard and he can shoot threes. He's slippery. So when he's on. Tonight was one of his good games offensively, and he also works hard on defense, took some charges. So he's a catalyst for what we try to do at both ends of the floor.
Now, tell me about some of the other players that make a difference for your team.
We're a pretty deep team. We have 9, and we often every game go 9 deep or 11 deep. We had 2 sick tonight. Tristan Landrio, number 24, is one of our better players. Again, he's a matchup problem being with his height and athleticism. Number 52, Wyatt Grant, our post guy. Again, he can be a matchup problem just because of his size. And Darren Travers is our fifth-year point guard. So when he's humming, the offense is humming. He knows what we're doing pretty well. So those are like mostly the main guys that we have offensively and defensively. Everybody plays both sides of the ball fairly well for us.
Was that number 1 you're talking about there?
Yes, Darren Travers is number 1. Got a foul trouble tonight being a bit overly aggressive, but sometimes the refs call it one way in one game and not the other, so he has to learn to adjust how it's being called, but to stay aggressive and then maybe take his foot a smidge off the gas if the refs are a bit more stringent that night.
Now, you got a tournament Friday and Saturday. Tell me about that.
Yes, it's the I'm not quite sure edition of the Great Northern Shootout, which used to be a tournament that was hosted by Algonquin. Then it was hosted by West Ferris and Larry Tugas for many years. And then when Mr. Tugas retired, Tim Lowe, the teacher here at Algonquin, took it back. When he retired, and I took it over. So we have 16 teams, 8 junior teams, 8 senior teams. We try to keep it small but competitive. Coming from Sudbury, Timmins, North Bay, Francois State from Sturgeon Falls, and the team from Gravenhurst Secondary School.
When are the semis on Saturday and the final?
It's a 2-pool tournament. So everybody in the pool has, it's four teams per pool, so everybody has their 3 games guaranteed. And then the winner of each pool will play in the finals. The junior finals is at 3 and the senior finals would be at 4:30, both here. The other site that we're using is St. Joseph's Collard Hall for their gym, so their pool will be over there.
So how does the NDA league shape up this year for you? How do you think it's going, and what are the teams to watch for other than yourself?
The 4 city teams are fairly competitive. So far, we've split with Chippewa. They beat us in their gym. We beat them here. Scholar Hall split with Chippewa. They were competitive with Ferris. We play West Ferris tomorrow night. We haven't seen him yet. It was a rescheduled game from pre-Christmas. So I think the in-town teams will all be competitive with one another. You got to bring your best game on that night, or you're going to get an L.
That sounds pretty good. What's coming up? Are we hosting an OFSA, or somebody's opening an OFSA here?
I think this year West Ferris is hosting boys OFSA. They have the girls in the fall and they have the boys in the late winter or spring, like in early March. And hopefully my senior boys will get to go to single A OFSA, being we're a smaller school, at Woodstock, in Woodstock for that same weekend from March 3rd to 5th. Or that's a Monday to Wednesday because of the March break from March 3rd to 5th.
Now that we've heard from the coach, let's listen to an interview with Owen Hamilton. He actually scored 25 points in that game, almost half of what the team did. And it was funny when I went up to the coach and said, "Hey, I want to interview number 13." And he had a really good game. And they looked at me like they didn't really want me to interview him for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they have their reasons, but I did. And I thought it was worthy. So that's what the reporters get to do. Let's listen to Owen. I think he spoke well for himself. Yeah, it looked like he had a great game out there. Tell me how it felt. You guys came out strong, and then you had to regroup.
Yeah, so we're throwing a lot of turnovers because we're kind of playing street ball from the break coming back. We weren't all together. We weren't meshing like we usually do, so we had to talk about it in the change room. Our coaches really had to get us down on moving the ball and cutting, getting to the paint, and then kicking out to get open. So we had to do a lot of that.
No, I saw that actually. It looked like you really firmed up on the passing, and everybody was playing more of a cohesive game the second half. Is that a usual thing for you guys?
Usually when we play a really good game, we're all playing together. Like the ball's being moved, we're cutting, we're using a lot of shot clock, and we get a good shot, a good open shot. So when we play good, we play like that. And then when we're not playing good, that's what we try to improve on. We try to move the ball a lot and get open.
You got a tournament come up Friday, Saturday. What do you hope to do?
We hope to win it again, back-to-back tournaments. So we're looking for that. We got a tough matchup our first game, but if we win that, I think we can go all the way.
What grade are you in?
I'm in grade 11.
Do you have any academic plans going forward?
Yeah, so I'm looking at a couple schools to go to, but I want to get into the business programs. I know that Nipissing and Canada have shown interest, so I might go to Nipissing or Canada or one of those two because they're good schools and they're home, so I'd like to stay here.
How long have you been playing basketball?
I think I started in 2019. I think that was my first year, but I got cut short because of COVID, and then I just got ball hungry during COVID and practiced a lot. So it's only been since 2019 I've been playing.
What do you like about basketball, and do you play any other sports?
I used to do cross country. I used to be really good at cross country and soccer, but then Sam Jones, his dad, number 5, asked me to come try out for Spartans one year, and I did that and fell in love with basketball. It's just I feel like I'm at home when I'm playing, so I definitely choose basketball now for everything.
The junior game was a little bit of the other way around. The Chippewa Ravens beat the Barons by about 10 or 11 points, and I got to interview the coach, Eric Bowman. He actually coached the volleyball, and I know him from stand-up, so it was really kind of cool. And he's a really good speaker. So let's listen to Eric talk about his team. So Eric, from the volleyball to the basketball, you got a junior team. You guys just beat Algonquin in their own gym. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it felt very good. I mean, they beat us a couple times already this year, so to get a little bit of revenge on them, especially right after the Christmas break, entering 2025 is a really good feeling, and I'm very proud of my guys for coming out, battling, and getting the win tonight.
Oh, what was the key for you for this game?
Aggression, defense. We came in and we wanted to battle and we wanted to win the 50-50 balls. I know we have a very, very talented group of guys, but sometimes it's not the more talented group that wins. It's a team that works harder. And tonight we left it all on the floor, and I'm very proud of them for that.
What's coming up for you next?
We have a game on Thursday, our first time seeing West Ferris this year. Very excited for that game. We know that if we want to win NDA, they're probably one of the teams we have to go through to get there, so we're really looking forward to that. Then we got multiple games this weekend in our tournament in town. Love playing in tournaments. It allows us to try some new things, try some new lineups, and my guys just love getting out of school to play basketball, man. What's better than that,
Trying to remember what I asked the other gentleman. I stumped him on spelling his last name. he was like, you don't have to verbalize it very often, right? Yeah, and I'm sure he's thinking the same thing everybody else does. Is it L-E-Y or L-Y? Okay, so what have you been doing to get your teams ready for this competition?
Well, over the break, we weren't doing much, unfortunately. I wish we could have been practicing and working on our stuff. But right now, it's all about confidence for us, man. Like I said, we know we have a very skilled team, and we need to play as a team, play hard, and then use that skill alongside with those things to really find wins. So we're trying to put it all together now on the second half of the season and see what we can do.
Tell me about Rain and what his role is, and a couple other your leaders.
Yeah. I think everyone on our team has a leadership role in some regard. Everyone brings times where I think that they could be on a seat right beside me helping coach. Rain's an awesome guy to have on the floor and on the bench. He's a leader. He's a very mature athlete. And it's really just a pleasure. Like you said, I coached volleyball and basketball, and he's been on both teams, and it's been an absolute pleasure having him and some of these other athletes as well. I feel very, very lucky, and yeah, I'm very happy.
Who's one of the ball carriers, the guards that you count on to lead the team?
again, I think that it depends on the matchup, right? Like if we know that one of our guys has a better matchup, then he's going to be our guy who brings the ball up the court. I don't think I can just pick one guy. I think everyone has their days that they perform better than others. Everyone has days that it's like that, right? Basketball is a very streaky sport. Some days you have it and some days you just quite don't. And we're just trying to do all the little things every single day, every single practice, every single game to help each other, right? Regardless of who's on the team, who's on the floor, we want to play the same game and we want to play hard.
So next up is the captain of the junior Ravens team, Rain Bradley. He scored 9 points for the win.
You guys just beat Algonquin in their own gym. How'd that feel?
It felt amazing. They got us the first 2 games, which I think we should have won. We shouldn't have won, actually. We don't earn it. We didn't earn it. We need to start working harder. We need to start working as a team. And it was just, we showed that tonight. We worked on defense and we put the ball in the basket.
So the other games you thought that you had what it took, but you just didn't have it on the court. So it's a matter of putting it together. So how's your season been going on so far?
It's going pretty well, but the start, it was rough. We got a lot of non-basketball guys on our team, and we're putting it together. We're starting to work as a team, and it's getting better.
How long have you been playing basketball?
I've been playing basketball for around 7 years now.
Now, what was the score here? Was it close? I'm showing up late, so I missed it.
I'm not sure of the exact score, but I'm pretty sure we won by about 10 points.
Now, what's next for you guys?
Our next game is against West Ferris, probably one of the strongest teams in this league, so we're going to have to really show up if we want to win this. It's going to be a battle.
What makes, have you played Ferris before, and what makes them a good team?
No, we haven't played them before. They have a really good program down at West Ferris, and they have a lot of basketball players, a lot of size, a lot of skill. It's going to be tough.
Now, what's your role in the team?
I get rebounds. I'm big, get under the rim, and I work, pass the ball a lot, make plays happen.
Now, tell me about some of the other players that are making a difference this year for you.
A few of our players are Will Raymer. He's our point guard, I'm pretty sure. He does a very good job taking care of the ball. Then we got our other big, Gabe. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. And Easton McConaughey. He's a great shooter. Need a little bit of work on defense, but he's definitely been a help for this team.
Now, what's Eric been doing to try to get you guys ready for what you need to do to finish the season in a good way?
A lot of conditioning, at practices, helping us work on team, like passing the ball, getting us used to each other, getting ball moving, getting plays going, just a lot of work.
Do you play any other sports?
I play I do track and field. I played volleyball this year. I play baseball, hockey, a few others.
What's your track and field event?
I do discus. I recently won OFSA and placed second at nationals.
So moving on from the basketball court and into the curling rink, congratulations to West Ferris and Chippewa curlers of Team Winters U18. The team participated in the U20 provincials in Fort Francis this past weekend.
The team of 16-year-olds included the skip, Riley Winters, third, Wesley DeCarey, second, Grayson Gribben, lead, Aiden Baxter, and coach Steve DeCarey, who played out of the North Bay Granite Club.
After a double round robin of 4 teams played over 3 days, Team Winters finished at the top with a 5-1 record, securing their berth in the U20 Nationals.
Team Winters played in the finals on Sunday morning against Team Rijala from the Northern Credit Union Curling Club of a town I'm not sure of. And for the Northern Ontario Provincial Championship, they are listed as finalists. So I take it they got the silver there. And they had an exciting back-and-forth game, and it came down to the last rock, where Rijala was victorious to win the title.
Team Winters will now be Northern Ontario Team 2 at the New Holland U20 Canadian Nationals in Summerside, PEI in March.
But next up for the Team Winters is the U18 Northern Ontario Provincials in Timmins on January 15th and 19th. The NDA hockey game against the Chippewa Ravens and Algonquin Barons was actually pretty good on Sunday. It was very close. I know it was a 5-1 score, but it seemed like a closer game. And I think Algonquin had a little bit more hope when they saw that the big goalie go down.
Lazary.
Yeah. And I think he went down with a hammy, and I got a video of the injury. so we can sort of dissect it and look at
figure
it. He was moving really good up till then.
Yeah. Well, no, he's a big kid, moves well, makes lots of good saves. So yeah, that's a big hole for them to need to fill in. But it sounds like they had some good fill in.
Yeah. So as Lazary's down there, and it's not looking good, and I hadn't seen any other goalies. I look over the bench, and there's this Evan Chemery, and he's starting to warm up, and it looked like he had no plans to be in this game, like none, right? And as a goalie dad, and as a goalie, these are the times when you wish you would have done a little bit more warm up and stayed warm.
I still actually remember one time being in, getting called up to play for an older team and sitting on the bench and being real comfortable where I was, just happy to watch the game, happy to be a part of the team. And the other team clearly knew that I shouldn't be there, so they ran the goalie. He reacted. He got in a fight. I'm like, wow, this is a really entertaining game to be at. Until the coach
best seat in house.
Put your helmet on and go in there. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So it was, I know that feeling. It's scary, but once you get in there, hopefully, your nerves kick in and adrenaline goes over and away you go and have some fun.
Well, yeah, I've seen it 100 times myself. So I was watching. He goes in. He's not quite warmed up. And so you want that first puck.
Yeah.
And they gave it to him from a long shot. And so he had that first touch of the rubber.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, the other goalie came back.
Okay.
So, I guess they worked on the ham and they figured they loosened him back up. But he was not moving well. Right?
Yeah.
So the next 2 periods, Chemery was in. And I got some really good video of him blocking some shots.
Yep.
Algonquin was, figuring,
him, trying to, let's get everything out of him, shots on net.
The Algonquin player, I didn't get the video of it, but the Algonquin, Bradley was taking a shot from the point.
Yeah.
The Algonquin player just finished his check, ran him over.
Yeah.
And that looked like a bad ankle sprain. And I know he's a big part of the team. Right?
Yeah.
So they were down there, two
strong players, yeah.
And they still won 5-1.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see how this goes. Scoring for Chippewa was number 19, Hayden Casey. He got a nice couple goals, both assisted by Gavin Thibodeau, number 14. 2, Cole Muner, got a good shot of him. I didn't get his actual shot, but I got the puck going in the net and the water bottle going up.
Oh, okay.
So I got a water
goalie's
bottle.
worst nightmare when you're popping the water bottle.
He didn't get to see it. It came in through a crowd, I think. But we have that. So I got the celly after he scored. Well, I got a good clip from number 44, who didn't bring his real jersey, Fernandez, Drayden Fernandez. It was a good one. Scoring for Algonquin was Jay Ogletree, assisted by Jay Jutra. And then there's Farhand. He also had the second assist on that goal. It was a good game, and they're playing tonight at the Gardens after their tournament on Friday, 9:30.
Okay.
After the Lakers.
After the Laker game. Yeah, I've seen them squeeze in for a couple games late on Fridays too, and NDA's got to pick their spots on where they can get ice time, so it's good that they're doing it. But yeah, definitely, these guys are getting an early experience of playing beer league hockey when you start that late.
Yeah. Well, 9:30 at Friday night, and then back 9 a.m. Sunday, so there's another game on Sunday. So
just like Mercantile League schedule.
Yeah. You got to love hockey.
So, Dave, our World Junior predictions did not make us look like very good prognosticators for sports.
Yeah, we were waving the flag too much. Did you get heckled at all when you went to Twigs?
Yeah, I went in for coffee club and had a little look, and they said, that I should not be making any bets or deciding what scores are for Team Canada anymore. So, it was something. But I enjoyed my time in, and actually I had quite a bit of Twigs. I had a real Twigs fix this weekend because I was able to go to Sudbury, and on the way, I needed a coffee because we were late getting to Emmett's game. So I stopped off, made sure to grab Twigs when I was in Sturgeon Falls on the way there. And then we got up to Sudbury and had a little bit. So made sure to get my little fix of coffee and scones, and away we went. So it was really good. And, I'm always a big fan of the freshness of the coffee, the quality of the beans that they have. And I look forward to my Twigs coffee and my getting in there for being told what to do by the coffee club.
Yeah. I haven't been to the one in Sudbury. Have you been to one?
Yeah, so that one too. It's just off the Kingsway, and it's over in that whole area. So if you're shopping and you're doing your Costco fix, Twigs is there, so you can get a sandwich or any of the offers on their espresso bar, gourmet deli, irresistible fresh baked goods, including gluten-free options.
I don't even know where the one in Sturgeon is. Where is that?
It's just off by the river.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to say that the right way. I don't know my way around Sturgeon properly, but yeah, just in and a little over. It's a really nice spot in a.
Just past that bakery when you turn in, go south a little bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So order online, pick up at twigs.ca, and coming soon you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from the distribution center in North Bay.
I think you should get us some T-shirts with Twigs on it or something for these podcasts.
Yeah, I like that. If you could giveaways.
Yeah.
Right, we're throwing to Mike. So you'll have to throw Mike.
Okay. All right. And so
I wonder if Mike drinks Twigs. Just kidding.
I think Mike probably has to drink a lot of coffee with that team. But no, coming up next, I guess this is our interview with Coach Mike McParland from the Nipissing Lakers, and a real great recap on North Bay minor hockey.
Well, I'm going to just let it go right to Mike because it was excellent, the interview. You didn't have to talk too much, ask a question, and he had so much detail.
Yeah.
And he has such a good memory.
Yeah, between like names, I mean, he remembering scores and what happened, and I think that's just probably part of how he sees the game. I've been really fortunate to play hockey with Mike over the years, and as he gets older and Father Time kind of slows him down a bit on the ice, his hands and vision of the game, and anybody that plays with him will say that, like, he just is able to pick up a little spot. Like if I'm in net and he's coming down and shooting, and like I give him a little something he's going to take advantage of it, and he's able to just put the puck on somebody's stick or knows where to go and what to do. It's really something to watch. I've learned a lot about hockey just from watching him play hockey, so it's really something.
Well, let's hear from Mike.
Okay. We'll get right into it. Our first interview of 2025, and we're doing this interview on Wednesday, and you guys are getting set to face the Chinese team, national team that's on a tour of North America.
That's correct, Paul. We're playing tonight at 7. This will be broadcast a little bit after the game, but we're really looking forward to this. It's a nice little adventure for our players, and I'm a little bit surprised how excited they are to play this game. So it's kind of nice that they're having a little bit of something special, and looking forward to it. And it should be a good preparation for our games coming up this weekend.
Could it be a distraction, or is it good prep?
No, it's good prep. I think after, in the university league, you shut down the first week of December because of exams, and you can't mandate practices. And at a certain date, around the 10th or the 12th of December, the players are allowed to leave and go home, and they're home for 3 weeks, and you're not sure what they're doing over the 3 weeks' time. And we've been back for about 8 days now, and I must say the guys have trained very, very hard and very well. But you still don't know what you have until you play. So it's been over a month since our last game, and this will kickstart us, I hope, for Queens on Friday night and Ontario Tech on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you had a hard start to the season, but you look like at the tail end you won 3-4, and they were close games, and all of the games were pretty close, eh?
Yeah, all the games have been really close. We were a little bit snake-bitten off the start. We lost 3 players due to reasons that were out of our control, whether they be academics or their own well-being or staying at home to care about their parents. So we ended up, before the season started, we lost 3 of our 9 top players, and then the first day of training camp, our top goal scorer hurt his knee and missed the first 8 weeks. And since he's been back, our fortunes have definitely turned around. On the positive side, other players have got to play quite a bit, and our goalies have really done well. And other than the last game before Christmas in Concordia, every game has been within a goal with 5 minutes to go. It could have went either way. The best team by far I've seen naturally is Concordia, who we played just before Christmas, and I see they went into Clarkson and won 5-1, which doesn't really happen too often, that a youth sport team goes down into to play the NCAA Division I teams and and first of all win, but win by that margin was quite impressive.
Before we get into your hockey career, because I know you were a North Bay Trappers star and you went on to a European pro career, who was the top scorer that hurt his knee in the first part?
So Kyle Foreman missed the first part. He's centering our number one line now with Charles Farmer and Charles Johnson, and they were a real dominant line last year for us. Gave us secondary scoring and sort of taken over the mantle this year as the top line. And it was an unfortunate accident. The very first day of training camp, Eli Leifers lost his footing and came in and sort of low bridge sideswiped Kyle with his skate firmly planted in the ice, and there was nowhere for the knee to go, and he tore his cruciate ligament and missed 8 weeks.
Oh, ouch. And you mentioned the goalies keeping you in. I know they're two local boys. Let's talk about your local goalies.
Yeah, both guys have played real well. We have Zach Roy, who's from the Callander area and played in Hamilton with the Bulldogs in the OHL, and had a nice little career for himself, doing real well at school right now. He's in his third season, and I think both goalies are relatively even. Our second goaltender, Reese Peru, also a North Bay kid that played in the Central Junior League with Pembroke, and this is his second year, and Reese has played real well also, and this year he's actually taken the step and playing even better than he did last year. So on any given night, it really doesn't matter which one's in nets, because I think they're both more than capable, and they've both stolen games for us this year.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. Attention truck lovers. Have you been Tundra struck? The powerful and dependable Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit. Ask us about amazing lease deals on a 2025 Tundra Double Cap SR 4-wheel drive and experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement. Or maybe you're an SUV lover? Take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV that ignites your desire to explore. Right now, get excellent lease deals on the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive and more. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
Well, that was a little taste of our interview with Mike McParland. If you want to see the full interview, go to our North Bay Echo YouTube channel. I'm not sure if this clip actually included it, but it was very interesting to hear that one of his possible regrets in life was he could have been traded from Sudbury to the Sioux and played with the Great One as the second line center behind him.
Yeah, and that would have been quite a scene, because it's still crazy to think about Wayne Gretzky's career in Sault Ste. Marie and what a media at that time circus it was. Like, that was one of probably the first sort of, and it came later when Eric Lindros and when Connor McDavid, I think a lot of people still remember him coming through town every time that big player, that the next one comes through. But Wayne really broke the mold on that. And I think for Mike, it would have been something to be in Sault Ste. Marie. But he had his reasons of wanting to stay here and had different plans. So it was really cool to hear that.
I actually lived in Cape Breton at the time that he might, the year that Gretzky was with the Sioux. Yeah. And my dad took me to a Sudbury Wolves game with Gretzky playing. I might have had a chance to see Mike play when I was in about grade 8.
So, and if I knew the answer, this would be a really great trivia question, but you might be able to help me because I'm drawing a blank on the name. Formerly coached the North Bay Skyhawks, but probably Trappers junior A team, came back. I do actually know who it is. Tom McCarthy.
Yeah.
So do you know Tom's tie to Wayne Gretzky?
No, I do not.
Okay. This is a very strange little story, but Wayne Gretzky was not drafted first overall in the OHL.
I did not know that.
Do you know who was?
I'm guessing Tom.
Well, I don't know why else I would have said it. So I really got to work on my delivery here. Tom McCarthy, who was actually older than Wayne, but he was drafted, and the reason for it was the thought of Oshawa, who had the number one draft pick, was that Wayne wouldn't be around long. So it wasn't, you would get him for 1 year, but he would be one and done. Somehow, I guess they must have known that he would have signed with the WHA or whatever. So, yeah, so Tom passed away a couple of years ago, I believe now, but he and had quite an interesting career himself, and both had peak of success, kind of the despair and bottom out, and then was able to take that story and become a positive message, and really had an incredible impact on so many kids who were able to hear his story and have him share what he learned on his way of hockey. So
yeah, I've talked to Chris Dawson about Tom a few times, and he's told me a few stories about that same thing, right?
Yep.
Where players who are struggling, and Tom being able to be that guy that had the experience, has been through it, got himself out of the ditch after driving into it.
Yep.
And, those are very inspiring things. So that's what coaches are supposed to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting. It shows how much of a small world sports can be, and it also shows how interconnected sports in North Bay are, so that you can very easily tie one story to another or one person to another. And I just feel so fortunate. I think you do too, of like all these great people we've gotten to meet and get to know, and conversations like we just had with Mike really just unlock more things, and I really enjoy it. And that's what I'm looking forward to in 2025.
And I really enjoyed the after interview, the stories that he couldn't tell us.
Exactly.
And how crazy it is out there in Europe.
Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to mention to him and didn't get a chance to even to, like, what was that like? Like, now it's one thing to watch a hockey game on your, like, I can watch something that's going on live in Europe right now on my phone, but I mean, he was gone, stuff was happening here. He had his own life there. Like, every time you would be coming home each summer, like, everything that you missed, and just even the difference between European hockey at that time, which would have been far ahead of everyone here in terms of advertising, marketing, and things, and a different flow to the game. Here it was Broad Street bullies, bigger, stronger guy getting, who's going to bash the guy over the head harder. And I think those two have kind of found a way to mesh. I don't think anybody would describe the European game the way they used to, and I don't think the North American game is what it used to be either. So,
Mike's been a lot of places, and he great stories. You got to hear the whole interview.
Yeah, and go check. I've got to show a lot of people over the Christmas break were asking about the podcast, or I heard something about this, so sharing those interviews, and got a lot of compliments and talking, and people saying they wanted to learn more about it. So yeah, it was good. So if you have not checked out, come to the Echo,
NorthBayEcho.ca.
Yeah, and you can find all of our content there, and that's great.
Yeah. Sign up for the newsletter too. Sometimes it's perfect.
Yeah, and other times.
Not this week.
So, if you wanted to emphasize an article a couple times, it's okay too.
Just in case you didn't get it the first time.
Yeah.
Despite the Lakers losing 2-1 in overtime on Saturday night, there were a couple of good highlights. I was going through the video clips, and Desmarais. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Desmarais.
Desmarais.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that works. And she was all over the place, setting up things. I was noticing how, like, when you're going through these clips, you can actually, slow it down and sort of see, where their vision is and how their plays and how their passing goes. She was very much a part of the offensive. She got the first goal.
Yeah.
It was 1-0, and it was assisted with Lana Duriez. Pretty close, Duriez.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Duriez. Yeah. Yeah. You guys can help me out there if you want. Just email me a
phonetic spelling.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, do it yourself, Dave. Anyways, the Ridgebacks, they struck back 2 minutes into the second period. Fortunately for the Lakers, they have a really solid goalie with Chantal Sandquist. She ended up with 22 saves. Nipissing actually outshot them. Mm-hmm. The other goalie's fairly hot too, and I think it was more of the other team was hungrier.
Yeah.
And they knew they had a little bit of momentum and edge on them. You could just sort of tell that they seemed like this was close, we can get them. These aren't the Lakers that they think they are.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and again, it's a high-powered offense, so if they're not firing, then that, a hot goalie can come in. I think Team Canada and the World Juniors showed what a hot goalie can do because they just seem to run up against hot goalie after hot goalie. So it's part of the game, and that's why they play the full season. And those girls are just going to get themselves ready and able for the playoffs. Because after talking to both Mallory and Darren this year, I think it's not necessarily about what you do in the regular season; it's about what you do in playoffs and nationals, and that's where their goal is. So.
Mallory Domenico actually had a fairly good game as well. She had some chances, some good shots. I have the last 30 seconds or so when in overtime, and the Lakers had their opportunities.
Yep.
And it was just a matter of passing the puck back, and one of the Lakers on the ice was 3-on-3.
Yeah.
She had a bit of a toe pick.
Okay.
It went down, and LeBerge, who's really good defense, right? Well, she was the closest to the other goalie,
right?
And then the other team's going on a breakaway. I couldn't catch the number of the Lakers that was on the ice, and it might have been Desmarais.
Okay.
I'm not sure. She made a valiant effort and
to get back.
Dove and almost helped out, but then slid into her goalie.
Okay.
And then the second player from Ontario Tech made sure it went in. Yeah, so it's a kind of a heartbreaking loss there. Nobody's real fault, but I think it was a bit of a wake-up call that 2025 is not 2024 for the Lakers.
Yeah. Oh, and again, in a short season, it is with the number of games played, every point counts. So you want to make sure that you're capitalizing and not leaving anything on the table.
Okay, so let's move on because I don't know where they're playing this weekend, but they're on the road.
I actually know they're on the road and in a really strange set of circumstances. So they're in Oshawa tonight playing in a rematch, and then they're going to Queens on Saturday night. And in a really strange thing, the basketball team follows the same thing. That's why I know. So I know where the basketball team is because I'm trying to think. I actually get to stay home this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Emmett's got games at Pete Pelangio this weekend against Coppercliff Reds. So that'll be really good hockey for those guys. And then the U18 AAs. So my oldest daughter, Rory, is in Ottawa for a big tournament with those girls. They're leaving Thursday. And then finally, my other daughter has games in Vaughan, so on Saturday. So my family's kind of all over the place. Some of the kids are just going with other people, and I know the basketball team because my wife is going to be in Oshawa and Kingston. So
what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Well, I think I'm probably going to go watch 2 men's Lakers games with Emmett and watch his games, probably have some coffee from Twigs at the rink, and be maybe incognito and try to watch and not have to talk about skate sharpening or sale sticks or anything like that.
Good luck.
Just enjoy it. Yeah,
good luck for that.
I like to kind of hide off to the side every now and then and find my spot.
He sits up at the top there, by the way, behind the benches.
Behind the bench.
That's your hiding spot.
I sometimes like to go to the bar at those games too. That's a nice little place to set up.
I've been known to have a tall boy before I leave the Gardens.
So I will be seeing you at those games. I will definitely be at the Gardens this weekend. So.
Okay, 4:00 Saturday then.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
I would be right after the Northern Ontario Shootout finals at Algonquin.
Okay.
Or right about then. So I think I'm going to hit those two birds with that one stone coming into town, and then I'm going to have a big bonfire. Speaking of bonfires, let's have our heritage moment because this kind of saved me. It filled a hole in the magazine. I found this photo of the police playground bantam team that won the 1965 North Bay City Bantam Championship. And they were the Northern Ontario Association finalists that year. And it was kind of cool. The photo was actually posted there by Don Craig, who's on the team. He did post it in 2014. So it was like a 50-year sort of memory. And now it's a 60-year memory.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll read out the people in the photo. Some of these names you'll recognize. Front row, left to right, Jerry Gardner, Kerry Carr, Alan Zupo, Dennis Morrow. The middle row is left to right, Bill White. I know Bill. I actually did a podcast interview with him. And then there's Dennis Brunet, Glenn Reynolds, George Milne, Danny Bale and Don Craig, and the coach was TJ Maxwell. Now, the Maxwells are famous because Stan was a big fastball baseball player here, right? Fastball player. And I have some shots of him it's going to go into the magazine probably this summer.
Yeah.
The other members on the team, the back row, left to right, Ron Adams, Ray Meadows, Rodney Wright, Mike Moyer, Glenn Peters, brackets it says Piotrowski, and then Ernest Dufresne is assistant coach. Yeah, so I've actually come across some of those guys.
I've heard a lot of those names. I don't know if I necessarily know those individuals, but the last names and stuff, that's really interesting. And I guess they would be a lot older too. So,
well, if they're bantams in 1965, the year I was born, right? So what is a bantam? Isn't that
14? 15?
Yeah. So they're 75.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, 75. So if you're out there and you saw your photo, great. If you like these type of things and you have an old team photo yourself, we can do this. We can put it in as a heritage moment. Give us a list of the people in the photo, why it's special. Any backstory? Why not? It's the city's 100th birthday, so let's celebrate every one of those years.
That's a great idea.
Well, thanks for joining us again for the Echo Sportscast number 17.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Please like, share, comment. Our podcast depends upon it.